everyone, and welcome back to the Crossfire Stars 2016 Grand Finals. A lot of great matches already taking place today, but so far the biggest surprise to me, Danny, has been AG taking that win over Rue Legends so overwhelmingly so. But just taking a look real quick, guys, at that match, we're going to go into the MVP of that AG Rue Legends matchup. But
it has to be LSN.
Yeah, between LSN and TMQ, they both put on such a great performance there, but I am interested to see who the MVP was decided to be there. But overall, I think the whole AG roster really did step up that game from what we saw earlier.
Yeah, they did. I mean, AG, the moment they found those like 3-round momentum, they just blew off from there. And I think Rue Legends were like thrown away from that.
They really were. And then,
but Rue Legends, they played, I mean, props to them. They played really well. Even though it was 10-4, I mean, keep in mind, they stomped them the first day 10-5. So, you know, props to Rue Legends. I mean, they did good. Not the best, but, you know, at least they can say we took one map off of them as well. Remember, guys, this is harsh. All these games are best out of one, and that is harsh.
It really is, and it's just a big challenge for all these teams because anything can really happen in a best of one, and that match right there really shows what can happen under pressure. I mean, you had so many rounds where it felt like Rue Legends had the advantage, but then AG would get these crazy 2v4 and 2v5 clutches. Yeah. And like we said, TMQ and LSN, those were the guys who were really stepping up. I think ZQ had a few good plays as well there.
I think 70kg eventually stepped up. His presence towards the early game was like, you know, you couldn't even tell he was there. But eventually he did step up, and it looks like now, guys, we're going to be switching over towards the MVP. And let's hope who it is. It's ZQ, actually. Okay, yeah, ZQ going to be getting the MVP of that game, AG versus Rue Legends.
Definitely a great KD there as well. 19-7, one of the better ones we've seen so far in the event. And I think the big reason they chose him for this is because of that hold on B side in that 2v5 where he got 4 out of the 5 players, and LSN was just really there for cleanup. Yeah, and this was that big hold there where he got a nice triple kill, and then especially on these control pushes, he was one of the key players in making these happen, guys. But definitely...
I think he was, on the second half, he went 8-1.
Yeah, he was one of the star players throughout this entire map, but hopefully he can continue that forward as they go to face Vici Gaming, which will probably be one of the most intense matches.
That is going to be the money match. AG versus Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming, probably the best team in China, but AG are up there as well, top 3.
Definitely, yeah, both AG and Vici are very, very strong teams, and seeing them collide, and actually just a best of one as well, so that's going to be a lot riding on just that one map.
It's so harsh. Like, these games that are best out of one is so harsh because, you know, anything can happen, but the moment the momentum comes in from one team and they swoop in 3 rounds, usually it's a blowout from there. And we saw that against Rue Legends. You know, they racked 4 rounds, but what did AG do? They stomped them.
Yeah, AG, especially in that second half, they just came out so much more aggressive than I've seen them in the entire event so far. The first half, they seemed a little bit more reserved, but that second half, with all those control pushes and wood control plays, they just felt so much more aggressive, and I think that really played to their advantage. And I don't think Rue Legends was quite ready for that counter aggression on their GR half, but definitely a great match for them, and we look forward to Vici and AG later in the day. But
now it's going to be, we got a rematch on our hands. We have Pacific Wara from Philippines. We got Zaran. We have BXM or Mac, I could probably call him. Poi, King. King was nuts. And then, of course, Aries. King and Aries were the 2 people that stood out to me. Yes, on day 1.
Yeah, in their first match, King and Aries had so many good plays. I mean, Aries was always around there to flank, but King holding down that window on Black Widow.
Yeah, the one thing that I distinctly remember is King and Aries 2v5 against iNsanes. That was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to what the guys on iNsanes can really do to shut down that team play that Pacific brings to the table. On Black Widow, it felt like they were just playing around Asuka, but on Subbase, they really can't afford to do that. We saw 70kg have to adjust for AG to fit into the mix and not rely on their sniper on this map, and I think that if iNsanes wants to win, they have to have that same mentality of playing more as a unit on this map and having much more effective rotations than we saw from them on their first match. But definitely that the Pacific Wara lineup, they are a very, very rough team to go against, and we've seen sort of all of them firing across the board here, but as you said, King and Aries are definitely the 2 to watch and keep your eye on, as King, he can be very impactful from almost any position, and Aries was just putting in the work with a ton of different random flanks coming out on Black Widow when we saw them earlier yesterday. But overall, I think these guys are going to be one of the harder teams to beat if they can continue forward into the bracket stage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but then on the other hand, though, we do have Insanes. Now, Asuka on Insanes is just crazy. I mean, yesterday, after before the technical issues with the sound, in the first 3 rounds he was so quiet, but after the sound issue was fixed and they went into the game, he topped 15 frags in 1 half. And I'm pretty sure today, the game they had today, I remember his player overlay coming up, and I think he went 17 to 10.
Yeah, he had a very incredible performance, but actually looking directly at their roster here, these guys are pretty insane. We've got Steelix, Ice Bar, and of course, Disturb, who actually did a lot on Black Widow on that catwalk play yesterday. Abaddon, also a very good trade player, but Asuka, he is by far the player to keep your eyes on here. If he goes off, the team goes off right with him. And it's really going to come down to how they can put him in the most impactful position. I think from what we saw with AG, I think it's going to be the best idea for snipers to stay away from trying to solo hold that A bottom area. I think it just isn't a very safe position to play, because if you miss that beginning entry frag, you're basically annihilated at that point and become a very exposed and easy frag for the teams to hold on to. But Insanes, I think they definitely have the ability to make it happen here. I mean, we saw how they were able to come back against Hidden. They started off 7-2 down against Hidden, but they still won the game 10-7, which is pretty insane of a comeback.
Yeah, that is just crazy.
But looking at Insanes, I think aside from Asuka, I'd say the person to keep your eye on is actually Abaddon. He seems like the guy who's always there to pick up those trades right when you need him most. He had a few good 2v3, 2v4 situations that we saw as well throughout the day yesterday, but I think that match versus Hidden is going to give these guys, though, a lot of confidence going into this one. But it is going to be a very interesting match ahead, guys. Pacific and Insanes. Looking at these two teams, Danny, do you think Pacific's going to take it again, or are you going to go with Insanes?
Okay, Insanes are my dark horse team, but you know, the one team that I think could surprise everyone and, you know, maybe get third, fourth, fifth, second place. But I'm probably going to lean towards Pacific today. I'm probably going to lean towards Pacific just because of, you know, Insane's performance on day one. They just had Asuka doing everything. He had 15 kills, and the rest of his teammates, they didn't have more than 3 or 4, or max really probably 5. And I feel as well, with someone who's such a hard carry like that, you can't have your teammates not be on par with you. If your teammates aren't on par with you, then, you know, kiss your slots goodbye, kiss 4th place goodbye.
Yeah, it is really a situation where Insanes, the entirety of that rest of the team around Asuka has to step up if they want to win this. But sub-base, a map where team play is going to be the biggest factor. And from what I've seen, especially from Pacific and watching their matches, these guys put a ton of focus on controlling that wood position. And that seems to be one of the most crucial things I saw when I was watching Wara and Mac to scrim. They always focus their control towards A, and they sort of leave mid a little bit more open.
I'm pretty sure Pacific's best map is sub-base.
Yeah, from what I've seen and from what I've talked to people about, I think that Subbase is probably their best map, and I know in one of the past internationals, it was the closest they came to upsetting a Chinese team as well. I think they lost 8-10 to AG on this map in the past, so it's definitely a map where these guys can go off. Their strategy is usually a lot of burst aggression towards A, but we saw how well that worked for AG against Root Legends, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same thing work for Pacific here. But on the other side of things, if Insanes can put Asuka in those key positions to get those early frags, either B control or mid, and really just stall out these pushes, it could be a nice way to slow down that aggression coming out from Pacific.
Yeah. I mean, like when we watched the AG and Root Legends, like we saw ZQ hopping into the vent in the first like 3-4 rounds, and then eventually he got gunned down because he did it so much. But Root Legends won away because they won taking mid control. He got punished for it, and then he stopped. So I don't know. We'll see what happens between these two guys. And I mean, right now we also have Flipside and Freedom going on as well. So hopefully we get the score on that as well later.
Yeah, Flipside, definitely I'd say probably the favorite in there since they did beat Freedom earlier in the tournament. But definitely a match that should come down to the wire. After we saw Freedom against Team WoW, I'd have to say that Freedom has been playing quite a bit better today, so it should be a lot closer game this time around. But I mean, Flipside's first game was still pretty close, 10-7, but in the end, only one of those teams is going to move on, guys. But now we're going to find out who will be going home between Pacific, Wara, and iNsanes. It's definitely going to be a close one, but I'd have to throw my hat in with Pacific as well.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the players are just about ready here, though, guys. We are going to be going into sub-base once again, one of my favorite maps to watch. But as we've seen, this map is a map of heavy back and forth. Alright, guys, and we are ready to hop right into sub-base here. It's going to be Wara versus iNsanes in a very, very intense match. It's going to be our Group C final match here, guys, to decide who moves on in that second slot for Group C. And right now it is going to be iNsanes on the attack. Pacific Wara playing the global risk side and locking things down on defense. But starting this off, it looks like we're going to see a very, very fast play as iNsanes, they're just rushing into A bottom. And Wara, they're not ready for this. There was no one directly defending, but it doesn't matter. King already opens it up with a pick. And now Asuka's looking for revenge here. Steelix gets one, but it's not going to matter. King gets another frag on the board, locking things down from upper A. Aries already on the flank as well, disturbed. He has to come up big, but it is going to be him holding things off. But Aries, he's already on the flank and picking up one, and it's going to be a 3-on-2 situation. Pacific looking very solid as Zarin takes down one, and it's going to be icebar now all alone in a 1v2. Poi, though, closing in along with Aries, and they know icebar is going to be trapped here, so he forces the plant, but Poi and Aries, they're just playing the passive position here, and it looks like they may group up and retake this one from the staircase. But icebar, he's going to have a chance to challenge it here. He's going to run into some trouble, though. Aries spots him, and it will be the kill going the way of Pacific as they hold on to grab the first.
What a retake there from Pacific Wara. Two great picks that coming out from King. They left the bomb side open, which is surprising. You know, why would you leave A bomb side open? iNsanes just sort of, capitalized off it. Hey, free A bomb side, let's go. And then King there to shut him down. And now iNsanes, let's see what they're going to do. They're going to split 2 towards, 3 over towards A here. And it looks like iNsanes, once again, they leave bomb side A open. What is this?
This time around, it's actually, they had one player on Pacific pushed up all the way in wood trying to hold the cross. The BXM, he can't do it. He has to back off. Avedon taking a little bit of damage in the process, but it's going to be icebar who drops out and gets a double kill there from Vents, and now it's going to be a 5v3. Pacific looking a little bit shaky here in round number 2, but Aries, Poi, and Zarin still alive, but Avedon, he's going to pick up one as well, and now things are looking very good for iNsanes to bring this one to a tie. Poi very low on HP as he rotates through wood as well. He's going to run into some trouble, though. Asuka there waiting in the smoke, going to get him with that Desert Eagle through the smoke, and now it's just Aries all alone in a 1v5 situation. It would be an incredible task at hand to come out of on top, but iNsanes, this is their chance to lock it down and tie it right back up here.
Definitely is 4v1 situation here for Aries, but unfortunately he won't be able to clutch it. Iceball will pick him up, and that's going to be tied up 1-1. But let's see what iNsanes do here. I'm guessing, once again, they're going to be sending out 3 players over towards that A, and it looks like Pacific are probably going to do the same as well. Already one member from iNsanes crossed over towards wood. It looks like he's going to be headed over towards A down. We got shots being popped over towards this wood. BXM will collect Asuka. Disturbed though, gets a nice headshot through the wall, or through the wood there onto BXM. Even trade ups there, 1-for-1. Leaving things down in a 4v4 situation. Bomb dropped in base. Should be getting picked up very shortly. 1 minute and 55 seconds left on the clock. iNsanes can probably take it slow here, but let's see what happens. Pacific Wara sending one player down towards A bottom just to spot things out. They have one player just locked on B side. Not probably going to move. Looks like they will be leaving B long open. And possibly Elton, but they will probably be spotting Elton from cage there, it looks to be. But let's see what iNsanes are going to be doing here. It looks like they may just group up towards wood, or they may just go out, for a quick pick and play right now. They're sending 3 players towards A down. They don't have bomb in hand, and we do have one player running around over towards B long as well. iNsanes still have no bomb control, but it doesn't matter. The Zarin gonna go ahead and take out Iceball, making things a 4v3 situation here for iNsanes. Flash goes out as well. I think Zarin's gonna go ahead and push up. Yep, he's gonna go ahead and start pushing up there. Avedon though takes out Zarin with the trade kill. And once again, we're tied up with 3v3 situation. Minute left on the clock.
Right now, though, it's going to be a very crucial situation for Pacific to get these players on the rotation in time to stop this plan. But it's going to be Steelix in a 1-for-1 battle, but it's going to be King still picking up threats, but it doesn't matter. Avedon's here to shut things down. Boy, he's now all alone, but it doesn't matter. He somehow finds his way into the kill, but Steelix is there for the trade, and iNsanes move into the lead now 2-1 with a nice execution there onto the lower A bomb site.
Yep. Solid work that coming out from iNsanes. Good trades, and now finally they're going to be sending 2 players over towards this mid here. They need to start, I think they need to start utilizing this Altan here. They haven't yet come towards it, but they do have a player now in vents, it looks to be. And let's see what happens. Pacific Wara though, 2 players locked on towards that B side. We got 1 in A top and 1 in wood. And now 1 player towards A bottom. Bomb is making his way through mid as well. And iNsane's gonna take this one slow. It looks like they probably want Asuka to do some work here. I think someone may just spot a vent. Nope, never mind. Looks like no one's gonna be spotting vent here. We do have Ares holding the angle. But let's see what iNsanes do. May just possibly gear up for a B long pick and play.
Right now, though, Icebar, he's waiting for Ares to try and peek again from vents, holding that tight angle, but it looks like Pacific just going to take their time and play this one passive, but iNsanes, they're creeping up across the entire map. Steelix already in a pretty aggressive position here, working up towards Locker, trying to get onto these stairs safely, but Zarin and Poi both waiting there on the B bomb site. Ares on a quick rotation as well. It is going to be a slow engage here. iNsanes just slowly working their way to collapse on B, but they are going to be spotted. Zarin gets the first peek. He's going to catch Steelix. Asuka, though, gets one in the process as well, trades it out, but it doesn't matter. Pacific pick up 2 more kills. That is going to be a great play from Poi and Ares, holding onto this bomb site, very successfully leaving Icebar in a 1v4 situation. Not what they were hoping for on iNsanes. Pacific well equipped to tie this, but it is actually going to be an interesting position here. Icebar, he's already crept his way up into cage. He might be able to make an impact here, but Poi catches him. Now Zarin's going to be there to support, but he still can't hit the shots. And Icebar goes down. Pacific pick up the tie.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Icebar. He was shooting so many bullets, but unfortunately he couldn't connect any. And even if he did, there was a player in vent as well, so he would have got shot out from behind. But iNsanes now once again sending 3 players over towards that wood area. We do have King popping shots in wood as well, but none seem to have connected. iNsanes though looking, well, sending that direction over towards A bottom there. BXM will collect the first kill onto Disturb, making things a 5v4 situation. Still very early on, 2 minutes left down on this clock. Bomb dropped in base here. We have 1 player sort of heavily pushed up towards B long, but it looks like he's going to be backing off as well. We got a quick peek there in wood as well as Icebar pushed up. Ares will go ahead and take him out. Suka though does get the trade, and it's going to be now 4v3.
Right
More
now,
shots being popped as well.
He's going to be King in the key position here. If he tries to get this re-peek on Asuka, the smoke is going to slow him down. But King, if he can get at least 1 more before going down, Pacific will have everything they need to take this round. But Asuka is still trying to be a huge threat here. But Avedon, he's already crept his way onto BXM, though. He's ready to challenge this. He gets another headshot there. Asuka trying to hold on, but has to back off. Asuka, though, trying to get the re-peek on the corner of this missile, but BXM just playing safe and waiting for the rotation. This is some perfect patience coming out from BXM. He knows he doesn't have to peek. He finally does and does a decent amount of damage here, but he's actually going to rush in now. He takes down Asuka, trying to fall off, and now it's just going to be Steelix all alone, 1v4, but BXM, he once more, he goes in, but it's not going to matter. Steelix, he picks up the double kill, though, with just 12 HP. Can he make an unreal situation happen here? 12 HP. He's got to get this bomb down. 50 seconds, though. The players are already rotating in, but it doesn't matter. He has the bomb in hand now, and he's going to be moving over towards B. This could be a huge play coming out from Steelix. He hasn't been spotted by these last 2 players just yet, but he's going to have a perfect position here and hit 2 very nice headshots to take down these players with just the low HP he has. But this could be an incredible round in the making here. Zarin already creeping up. Poi, though, he's going to be right in time to pair up with him. But Poi, he goes for the peek, and he will get it. Very nice round coming out from Pacific as they bring this one back into the lead for themselves.
Yeah, very nice round that coming out from Pacific, and just great to see both Philippine players, playing together there. And if they split up, who knows what could have happened. Steelix was 12 HP, but still, you can never give a player a fair one-on-one in when you have numbers advantage. You just can't do that, and you're going to pay the price like Team WoW did.
Definitely, and now we see Pacific in a 1-round lead here, but iNsanes, this is their chance to tie it up right away and keep this one well within reach, but they definitely have to be careful. They've run into a lot of trouble with BXM towards A, but Steelix is going to be trying to sell a fake here as we've got 3 players actually rushing into Zarin. And he has no idea here. It's going to be Asuka playing quad, but there's 2 players already past him. Asuka gets the kill as well, and this is going to be a great execution coming out from iNsanes. Boy, he's going to have to get at least 2, but it doesn't matter. He's shut down immediately. Steelix finally comes in as well, but it doesn't matter. BXM on the rotation picks up one, but Icebar is there to shut down with a kill onto Aries. King and BXM, though, looking for this 2v3 clutch, but all three players are very tagged up. BXM, though, he's not going to be able to make it happen. Icebar and Avedon shut it down, and just like that, we're all tied up here once again.
Yeah, great round that coming out from iNsanes. Unfortunately for BXM, he wanted to clear out that left-hand side, and in doing so, he did get picked up, and now 4 players now maybe, well, sorry, 2 players over towards this mid right now. It looks like they're going to go for some sort of vent play possibly. We do have one player pushed up quite far. No, actually one player in B control there. Icebar though does collect the kill onto Poi in Darkroom, and we have one person circling right towards that A bottom as well on the other side of those stairs. But iNsanes, they can sort of set the pace here now. They do have that one kill, and now they can decide how they want to play out this round. They do have the numbers advantage. They do have bomb picked up as well just now. It looks like they're going to be gearing up for an A take here. We have one player on that bottom A, and shots being exchanged there at that wood. It looks like the push is about to come in.
So far, though, they're going to be working in, but it's not working out at all. BXM already has one on the board, and he's looking for more, but it's not going to matter. Steelix and Asuka both pick up frags. Asuka with another kill on the board, and now Asuka picks up 3 for the round, and it's going to be Zarin all alone in a 1v4. Things looking very positive for iNsanes to swing back into the lead. We're going to have to see some sort of insane play from Zarin in this 1v4 to make a comeback here and take the round, but Zarin, he's going in very exposed here. He's going to be rushing down the staircase from control into lower A, but Steelix going to go for the wide peak. He will go down, but Asuka picks up a 4th kill of the round to close this one out.
Yeah, Asuka just went off in that round. That Deagle killer switches back towards the open, collects off another as well. Beautifully done there from Asuka, but 4-3 on the board. This is still sort of somewhat close. I mean, it's going back and forth, and now iNsanes. We've got one player already rushing towards A bottom. Will get flash at King, collects a kill onto Avedon. And iNsanes are going to back up from this one and take things a little bit slow. We do have a player, I think, slightly pushed up towards B long there. Nope, never mind. It looks like he's going to be going over towards mid. I think there's a player in vent as well, which seems to be Icebar. So let's see what happens. Icebar creeping up.
He's going to be pushing around behind them. King, he's already wrapping behind them. He grabs one, and Icebar has no idea. Aries is there to make some havoc as well, and King picks up the 2nd kill, and they had no idea he was there behind them. He pushed up lower A, caught the wood push, and they still didn't even turn around to try and fight there. Now, guys, it is going to be all tied up 4-4. Just some great performance from both of these teams. Round after round, back and forth, but once again, iNsanes, they're just trying to overhaul this A bomb site. They're just going for the no fear push here, and once again, they're going to be punished. BXM gets the initial frag, and now it is going to be a 2nd kill on the board for him as he finally goes down, but it doesn't matter. King's already rotated in for the support, and Disturb is very low. He's going to go down as Aries comes in and cleans things up. It's going to be Steelix all alone, who picks up a nice headshot, but it may not matter, but it does. Oh my goodness, 8 HP, he picks up another, and now it's down to a 2v1 Zarin on the flank. He gets another headshot! That's 3 in a row. Steelix looking for an insane clutch here with just 8 HP. He's already got 3 of the 4 players, but now this is the hardest part of any clutch situation, the one-on-one. Who can outmaneuver who? He's going to run into some trouble, though, and King saves the day from what surely looked like a very devastating round going the way of
That
Pacific,
could have been a crazy clutch for Steelix. He almost had it in the bag, but unfortunately King with some great movement there picks him up from behind. But this is sort of becoming a possible repeat of what we saw on the first stage, just back and forth.
Definitely a very, very close game here, but Pacific, they do slide by with that half, but I definitely have to give credit on the side of iNsanes to BXM stepping it up today. He had so many good impact plays that almost tilted some rounds back in iNsanes' favor, but just overall some great performance across the board, though, from both of these teams, and I think it's going to continue to be very, very neck and neck as we go into the second half here, guys.
Yeah, definitely. But now let's see how Pacific Wara played this on the blacklist side of things, and we're gonna go ahead and fire it up. Already Pacific Wara headed over towards wood and this A bottom. Asuka though collects the 1st kill onto BXM, but that doesn't matter though. They are still pushing. Flash does go towards that A bottom. Shots being exchanged. Let's see who picks off the kill. He is gonna go off into a spray, but it doesn't matter. Disturb collects a double kill. Avedon though does go down to King. King finds himself another one as well. Disturb will go down this time. Shots being fired there by Aries. Icebar will get picked up, and now it's going to be tied up 2v2 situation. Bomb is in hands of Pacific Wara, though. Shots being exchanged towards that wood. Steelix will collect the kill onto Ares, and now it's all up to King. 2v1 situation. King left on 68 HP. Does have the scope in hand though. Let's see what he does. Gonna start shifting up towards Wood. Checking his back here to make sure no one is flanking around him. We do have one player towards that A down, which is Asuka. He's holding the angle, but King could possibly make his way and get himself a one-on-one. This is not going to be good for iNsanes. If King can get this one-on-one, Asuka still holding this A bottom, and let's see what King does. King now going to turn his attention down towards A bottom. And a minute and 15 seconds left on the clock here. It looks like one player from iNsanes is going to leave the B bomb side open.
Right now, it's going to be up to King to make this happen. He's done a great job of forcing the rotation here. They actually rotated right past him onto the A bomb side. He's played the sneaky move here, and now he's going to have full control over B. And this is all about where he plants this now. He has to give himself a great position to try and force a couple 1v1 situations. And I actually don't know if I like this plant spot for having this in hand. It's a very difficult angle to hold versus having him play somewhere near lockers, but nonetheless, he will have a chance to get the 1v1 peak here if Asuka goes for the anti-Deagle frag. And King, though, he's gonna miss this shot. He does a little bit of damage, though. Asuka now just with 22, but King, he picks up one. Can he get the other, though? Asuka comes in for the trade, and iNsanes will hold on to bring this to a tie.
Yeah, well played there from Asuka. He did get lagged, actually, in that shot. He got lagged in that shot, but luckily for him, he managed to get the trade kill. But currently tied up 5-5.
And it just seems like one round after another, going back and forth. Still here as we are in round 11. It's all tied up, guys, but things are looking very good for Pacific to start off this round. Poi already with one on the board, getting aggressive, takes down Asuka. There's going to be a key player out of the mix already for iNsanes, but the bomb going to be potentially working its way back towards A. King, though, still looking for a pick, as Pacific Wara want to make this an even wider spread gap before they push into either bomb side. But King, he really wants to take this challenge up Wood. He's consistently peeking it, but iNsanes, they actually don't want to challenge him here. Icebar going to be playing the passive angle here from Cage. Aries working his way into vents, trying to get some sort of a pick, but iNsanes, they are playing extremely passive here. They want Pacific to try and push forward and make a mistake. BXM, though, he's looking for a kill onto Steelix, but Steelix, he's actually going to back off as well, and Pacific, they're trying to get these entries, but iNsanes, they're just playing incredibly passive here, Danny, and it seems like they're almost nervous to peek out.
Yeah, definitely they are, but we do have one player pushing up Wood here from iNsanes, gathering a lot of information for himself. 3 players, though, stacked up towards this B long area here from iNsanes. iNsanes pushing up in towards mid here. That is going to be Avedon. He takes out Zaron. Avedon, though, will get instantly traded up by Ares, though, but we still have another player there in mid, which was Disturbed. Ares picks him up also, and now Philippines in the driver's seat here. 4v2 situation. It doesn't matter, though. 3v2 situation. As Steelix takes out BXM. Steelix, though, will instantly get traded up by Poi, though. 3v1 situation here, all down to Icebar. 81 HP. Going to be coming out from Wood here in towards Darkroom. Already in Darkroom, pops a couple of shots here, gets one kill onto Poi, and let's see what he does here. iNsanes almost getting the one-on-one there between King, but Icebar doesn't manage to clutch it.
Now we continue to see the back and forth, 6-5 Pacific picking up the round, but it's going to be up to one of these teams to just run away with the momentum and close out this match. Otherwise, we could be seeing the potential for overtime here, but Disturbed, he's going to go for a no-fear push, and iNsanes, they're just rushing into mid. They want to try and get a quick round. Steelix picks up a 2-piece before going down, but it's still going to be Pacific in control 3v2 as Asuka and Disturbed try and find their way back into this one, but Ares and Zarin doing tons of work here. As now Zarin and Poi going to be the last two alive, but it doesn't matter. Poi shuts it down, and Pacific take a very nice round there.
That was a very interesting push that coming out from iNsanes. Maybe they just wanted to, quickly build up some momentum there, but 2-round lead now here for Pacific Wara, which is probably the biggest we've seen right now in this game. But let's see what iNsanes do here. They're sending 2 players over towards A bottom. We do have a player in vent also. We got a rotate coming out from iNsanes from A top into Darkroom. And bomb is circling over towards B long. Also, we have one player in mid spotting this A long push as well. It looks like iNsanes once again want to gather their information from A bottom / Wood and see what they can do. See what they can do with it. Minute and 52 seconds left on the clock here. Pacific Wara heading slightly a little bit away from that B long area and trying to put some more focus over towards Wood. Now smoke is down as well towards that A bottom stairs, but that should soon dissipate as well.
Right now, though, I definitely have to give a shout out to the way they are playing this on Pacific. I really like how they put Aries and Vents early in every round and then poke across the map and just have him sitting there listening to see how the players react. It gives them a nice chance to see how many positions they can find before they actually push in, and I think that's a reason Pacific has been so effective so far on their blacklist half. They have so much information already going into these sites as to who's being placed near wood in the back of B cage. So Aries being in this position, he's been so helpful, and even in the last round on the flank, he was there so late in the round that he was able to help clean those frags up as well. But it looks like Pacific, once again, they're going to be looking towards this A wood control, but this time it looks like they're actually going to push up and try and control lobby and contest Disturb's position here in the upper A. But it's going to be Disturbed hitting the corner, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be 2 kills going the way of Pacific. BXM and Poi already with kills on the board. Avedon finally coming in to make an impact for King. He's going to be taken down as well. Avedon picks up the 2K, and now it's going to be all even here, but it looks like the bomb is down, but Aries takes down Ice Bar, and now it is going to be a 3-on-2, but it may be up to Steelix here, who's already working his way around on the flank. He gets one, but his teammate Avedon going to be taken out. Now it's going to be a 1-on-2 situation, but it doesn't matter. Poi with the quick peek takes him down, and that's 8 on the board now for Pacific.
Look at BXM, dude. He looks so serious. BXM. And 8-5 now on the board here in favor of Team Pacific Wara. And they're going to now throw a couple of nades over towards that B long area. We do have Steelix there, hiding behind the boxes, but it doesn't look like he has taken much damage, or even any at all, in fact. But again, look at, we do have another player in vent again, which is Aries, but he will get taken out by Asuka. And that's going to be first early advantage here going over to Team Insanes.
And I actually like how they played that this time around. I was waiting for Insanes to exploit the fact that Aries has literally gone vents every single round on their blacklist half so far. And that's just a good read coming out from Insanes and shutting down Aries from that position where he has been pretty effective so far on this half. But now it's going to be up to them to put this one back to a much closer game. But they're off to a great start. Steelix picks up the double kill. King, he does find a trade. Zarin, though, there to get one as well. And now the 2v4 goes down to a 2-on-3. BXM and Zarin looking for the recovery. But Zarin, he's already picked up another. And now it's Avedon and Steelix trying to make this one happen for Insanes, but BXM, he's still hot on the trail of Avedon, trying to force this pick in a 1v1. He gets it, and now BXM, they have a chance to get another clutch situation for Pacific, and this is going to be a very crucial round for Insanes. They can't afford to give Pacific a match point opportunity here. Steelix, he's going to have to come up huge for Insanes here, but right now it is going to be BXM rotating back towards the bomb. It looks like Steelix may have caught on to his position here. He's going to go for the mid peak, but he's already been crossed. BXM, though, he's not ready for it, and Steelix gets a much-needed round there on the board for Insanes.
Yeah, definitely a much-needed round there for Insanes. BXM, though, wasn't quite aware of that, but it doesn't matter, though.
Right now, though, looking at the scores across the board, Steelix has definitely stepped up big time with 8 frags in this half for Insanes. He's been the go-to guy to make an impact here along with Avedon. Bazarin, he's looking to potentially challenge this A long, but Disturb and Avedon, they're both playing behind the corner here, and this is a great passive angle to be holding Bazarin. He's not going to go for the peek here. He's just waiting for the push out of A bottom. King, though, going to try and peek here, and this is where they could run into trouble if Insanes decides to contest on King's shots.
Definitely Insanes. Disturb still not been yet spotted here, and this could be interesting. I don't think Insanes are going to go out on flashes with this one, even if they do decide to head over towards wood. We do have King here, though, holding the angle with the AWP, but doesn't look like Asuka is giving him much to work with. It doesn't look like Asuka at all wants to peek that angle. A minute and 30 seconds left on the clock here. Smoke will get tossed as well, but shots now actually being fired here from Zarin. Zarin actually finds Disturb, but manages to get away with his life.
Now it looks like they are going to try and throw some action here towards B. Steelix, he's just playing on the lockers. Can he hold it off, though? Steelix, he puts one on the board, but can he do any more? No, it's going to be Asuka coming in for a trade, though, but Aries and Poi both picking up kills of their own, but this is still a very winnable round here for Insanes. Zarin and Aries are both very low, but Asuka and Avedon getting lit up, though. It's going to be Asuka taking down the only 100 HP player of King, and now this is a very winnable round for Insanes to bring it one step closer to a tie. Zarin and Aries, though, still trying to work towards this bomb, but Zarin, he's in a very difficult spot. Aries, he's going to have to find an opening here with just a sliver of health to work with. Zarin, he's just sort of trapped here, waiting for someone to rotate into him, but they still don't have control of the bomb. But Aries, he finds a nice headshot there. He goes for the second, but he won't be able to do it. But Zarin is there to help clean things up, and that is going to be a huge round for Pacific as they move into their match point opportunities now.
Yeah, that was a huge round there for Pacific. I'm pretty sure King did spot Asuka and Elton, in Dark Room when he actually quick peeked and crossed. So I'm pretty sure he spotted him. But again, beautiful work there coming out from Pacific Wara, and now they're going to be sending 2 players over towards that B long. And once again, though, Aries in that vent will get picked off from Asuka. Asuka just reading that so well, but that won't stop Pacific. They're going to be sending 2 players over towards wood now, heading over towards that A bottom. We do have the bomb circling over there as well. Insanes still holding their ground. We still have 1 player towards that A bottom, just pre-firing through the smoke, seeing if he can do any damage whatsoever. 2 players still over towards B, interestingly enough, but looks like one of them is actually spotting that Elton. Shots being popped in wood as well.
Suka taking a brunt of damage there, but he actually still picks up the shot. BXM finally comes in to take down Disturb, but it's going to be Insanes holding on to the advantage here. But Asuka goes down, BXM picks up another, and now Steelix, he's trying to answer back with a frag onto Poi, but Poi knows he just needs to try and draw up the fire here as Pacific, they are very, very close to taking this one home here. Icepar, though, already sneaking his way up towards B control. Steelix picks up one as well. And now Insanes with an opportunity to put one more up on the board, but King, he's still sitting in this A-long position, but he could run into some trouble. It's going to be a sneak attack coming in from Icepar, and that's going to leave it in a 3v1, but BXM, he's already picked up 3 kills on the round. This is his chance for all 5 kills and the map win for his team. What a way to end it would be for BXM. Right now, he's just going to be holding lower A. He's going to be challenged. Icepar tries to go in. Abaddon and Icepar, though, come in big and take him out. Almost a little bit scary there, but Insanes, they still managed to hold on here.
Yeah, a little bit scary there, but a good idea from Insanes there to both double peek BXM there in order to get the better of him. But 2 players now headed over, well, 3 players, sorry, in mid right now, and I think Aries may once again head over towards that vent. Pretty sure Asuka is ready for it. He is peeking that vent, and looks like Aries may just back off here, but 9-7 here, and it's more or less a repeat from what we saw from day one. Day one we saw was Pacific Wara lead 10-7, so it more or less might just be another repeat of what we saw on day one. 2 players still in this computer room here, B long area, and I think Aries is just really wanting to pick somewhere towards mid, or at least trying to get all this information of who's rotating where and what you can hear. Bomb makes his way over towards mid as well, spotting over towards Elton and Darkroom there, but nothing more than that.
Right now, it's going to be Pacific, though, just trying to run things down, as they did have King. He got legged over there towards A-long, so he is going to be pretty tagged up, but it still isn't stopping him from trying to get this trade frag here. But it is going to be Aries trying to spot into vents, but he still tries to force this almost a little bit too much for my liking here, but it is going to be Zarin and King still trying to find a presence here towards A-long, but Pacific, they definitely seem a bit more hesitant this time around. But King, he's actually going to rotate off and possibly work towards B here, and it would be one of the first rounds we actually see King try to force an entry onto B. BXM going to be right beside him as well as they try to work their way in, and right now King, if he can somehow find a kill before going down with just 20 HP, this could be Pacific's chance to take the map, but 40 seconds, time is running out. Abaddon, he's on the flank though, he gets one, Disturbed takes down another, and this is a great opportunity for Insanes to push it into a tie, but BXM and Poi both pick up kills on the entry, but Icepar, he's still holding on to the back of the site. He picks up a double kill, and now King's all alone in a 1v3, and King with just 20 HP, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot in this situation. He's going to have to connect every single shot to have a hope at bringing this one back, but Icepar, he's still holding on to the dark room, and now it's going to be King who comes up with the shot, and this is where it could get scary. King, he has 10 seconds to get the bomb down, but he does get it down just in time, but this is where he has to come through to try and make this one happen. Abaddon and Disturbed, they both have almost full HP to work with, but here comes the collapse. King, he's going to run into some trouble here. He still hasn't spotted Abaddon, though, for the peak. It's going to be King going down to Disturb, and Insanes, they are one away from taking this one into OT here, Danny.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Pacific Wara just starting to lose a little bit of the momentum. They just need one round. They just need a one round to close out this game, and the pressure is getting to them. Unfortunately for King, couldn't quite clutch that 1v3. Held the angle too long towards Wood there. but it doesn't matter now. 3 players headed over towards that B long area. We got 1 player in base spotting towards mid, and we got 1 player over towards wood as well. And Insanes just doing what they did before, sending 2 players towards A top, 1 towards A bottom, and 2 on B. And now keep in mind, when Pacific Wara takes so long, I think Insanes have now realized if they don't have players towards wood, and you know the time is running out, they just allow their players to just push up from bottom A and, you know, get the backstab kills. And Asuka takes out BXM there, who was spotting in vents, and Asuka just reading these plays so well.
Definitely, he's been one of the key impacts here, but definitely have to give credit to Steelix as well, stepping up big time with 10 frags on the board in the second half. He's been a huge impact as well, but right now, this is a big opportunity for Insanes to push this into overtime and potentially come back and win this game. But still, Pacific, they see their eyes on the prize here, and moving on would mean everything to them here. They have the potential to close this one 10-8. They just have to get out of this 4v5 situation, but right now, they are actually spread a bit thin here. It looks like we are going to see a slow rotation, though, coming in. Pacific looking to challenge here over towards B, but Insanes, they actually want to back off, play a bit more passive here. Icebar and Asuka taking a decent amount of damage as well, and this is going to be an opportunity for Pacific to try and force their way in, but they actually don't take the opportunity. Pacific still trying to run down that clock and force Insanes to peek them, but Steelix and Icebar, they know that they do not want to give up this numbers advantage here. They want Pacific to make the first move and try and catch them making a mistake, but Icebar, he could run into some trouble here, but he's already called for the rotations. But here comes the counter push. It's going to be Disturb and Steelix. They're already going on the flank. They're collapsing on these players. Insanes with an opportunity to take it into overtime. Zarin, he's going to be caught off guard. It's now a 5-on-3. Avedon, though, still pushing behind as well. He's going to be behind quad, and this is where it comes down to the wire. The 5-on-3. Avedon, though, he has to move faster. They're already starting to close in onto B. Aries, he gets one, and that's it, though. It's going to be King all alone in a 1v4, and it's not going to happen. Insanes, they take it into OT as Asuka picks up 3 in the final round.
Incredible from Insanes there, and you can tell they read it so well. They know Pacific Wara. If they're not contesting wood in the last 45 seconds, hell, just get your players to push up and collapse on them from behind.
Yeah, they had so many opportunities too, Pacific, to close that one out, but now, thanks to Insanes reading the strategies quite well, we're going to be going into some overtime action here, guys, and it is going to be an incredible overtime. It's actually the first we've had over here on stage B. The closest we've had up until this point was a 10-7 match, so definitely going to be the closest match.
Yeah. but the same game in day one.
And now in OT, though, I'm not so sure. Pacific, they were my team going into regulation. I guess I'll stick with them, but they definitely had a lot of things slip away from them in the later portions of that half. And as Insanes, they have to be feeling...
Insanes, my dark horse team.
They're feeling pretty good right now. They seem so happy. I mean, they were down 9-7 and brought it back to a tie, and this is really a great opportunity.
And it's a nice thing. It's nice to see Steelix and other people and Icebar, etc., to step up for a change. It's not always Asuka like it was on day one, where he was dominating the map, but his team just couldn't follow up.
Yeah, he was having a lot of carrying going on in that first day, but all of Insanes has stepped up to the plate now, and I think we saw decent plays from really every single person on their roster today, which is a nice change, and I think really how they've been able to bring this one to a tie, and right now it's going to...
So how does this overtime work here then?
I believe it's going to be the same as we do in EU and NA. I think it's 3-round halves, first to 4. So we are going to be going into OT, and right now it is going to be a very, very intense game here, guys. If you're just tuning in, it's 9-9 in regulation as we go right into OT. It is going to be Pacific on the Global Risk side to start things off in overtime. They definitely had a very solid first half there, but this time it's going to be Icebar fighting the entry. Asuka trading with another Insanes, getting a huge entry onto this A bomb site. Now it's going to be a 3v5 retake. King, Poi, and Zarin looking to try and find their way back in this one, but Pacific, they may have sold it short here in this round, and now Insanes, it's all about the post plant. King, though, already working his way on the flank, but Steelix and Avedon are both on the backside staircase, waiting for him to peek. They're going to take him down, and now it's a 2v5. Insanes looking to grab the first round of OT, but Zarin, he will find one, but it's going to be a very difficult retake now. Poi working his way in, grabs another, and it's going to be a 2v5 down to a 2v3. They find a third kill on the board. They're looking for more, though. Avedon still trying to lock it down from the back of the site, but there's only 10 seconds. They have to hop on the bomb. They have to defuse it. There's only 6 seconds, and he's going to try and hop on the bomb. Can they get this? He sticks it. He's going to get it. Pacific, they win the round, but no, the bomb explodes. Insanes, They get the win just because the bomb timer was a little bit
Oh my
over.
God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
What a round there. Pacific.
I thought he had it.
Pacific, it looked like he had the defuse just in time, but he waited just a half second too long, and it came
Why
back
did
to
he
bite
not
him.
stick on it straight away?
And that's where, in those crucial moments, you have to trust your teammate there. You can't have any hesitation. And as you guys saw there, just that moment of hesitation cost them the round and could potentially
Asuka.
swing the game.
Yeah, and now Asuka getting the initial kill onto BXM there, and looks like one of them is going to go ahead and push over down towards that bottom A. Once again, bottom A open, but I think King is there on A top, ready to hold it down. We got a player pushing up wood here as well. That is Aries. He's going to go ahead and pick off Avedon. Aries now probably going to have to go ahead and deal with another player towards that A bottom. Disturb goes down to Zarin. And that's going to put things down in a 4v3 situation here in favor of Team Philippines. But that doesn't matter though. Icebar takes out Poi. And that's going to tie things up here. 3v3 situation. They do have control of this A bottom. But look where the bomb is. The bomb is over towards B long. It looks like Insanes well, Insanes definitely now have to go all the way around back towards that spawn to get this bomb here. Unless whoever in wood there has something to say about that. King though gonna get deleted there from Icebar. Aries though does take out Asuka. We got shots going over towards that wood, which is Steelix. Steelix takes out Aries. 2v1 situation now here, all up to Zarin. He does have the HP advantage. Popping a couple of shots into Steelix. We'll go ahead and take him out. It's all up to Icebar now. One-on-one situation. Icebar tags him once though. Still Zarin with the HP advantage. And Zarin will go ahead and collect the kill, and that's gonna tie things up in overtime. 1-for-1.
These matches are just so intense as the tournament's gone on, but this one by far I think is the most intense we have seen so far. Pacific Wara slowly but surely fighting their way back into this one, but King, he actually hasn't done too much here in overtime just yet. It's all been about Zarin and Poi in this OT. They've done so much work for Pacific. But right now, this is a big round. This one, I believe, will be the last round here in our first half of overtime. So whoever wins this is going to have a big advantage going into the second half here with that 2-1 lead. So it looks like Insanes, though, they're going to try and challenge Zarin here on quad, but it's going to be Pacific ready to hold it on. But Icebar, he finally gets one. He gets the double to answer back, but King, he's already got one on the rotation. Disturb finds one, and now it's going to be a 2v2 as Icebar and Disturb look to try and hold on to the B-bomb side. BXM, though, already rotating in here with Aries, and it's all about the post plant, but Disturb, he's in a tight spot. He's going to go down, and it's all about Icebar here. 1v2, he gets one, but it's not going to matter. Aries comes in for the trade, and Pacific, they take a second round on the board.
That was so tense.
Very tense. I feel like every round in overtime has been that way so far.
Yeah.
Both of these teams, you can tell how much they want it just by the sheer gameplay we're seeing here. Both of these teams neck and neck moving into this situation. So
It looks like they're going to be playing out more rounds here, so possibly out of 5 rounds, I think it could be. But yeah, it could be MR5.
we'll see here. It looks like the players are stopping. Yeah, it is going to be the half
Okay,
here,
yeah,
guys.
so it's
2-1.
MR3.
But just looking at that score line, what do you think Insanes can do to bring this one back? It's such a close game.
The Insanes, they gotta play it exactly how they played the second half. When Team Wara just takes so long in the middle, in the last 45 seconds, if they are not contesting wood and A bottom, just tell your players, push up, backstab them.
Yeah, and I think if they can get Asuka into that position to hold off vents and prevent Aries, I think that was a key factor in them bringing that comeback. But on the same token, if Pacific realizes that and puts Aries in a different position, it may be enough to throw Insanes off and potentially give them the game here. But it looks like we are going to reset the lobby. I think we had a lobby crash issue here, guys, but so far this has been just an incredible match. 11-10 the score here. Pacific Wara leading it by 1 as the players are reconnecting here for our second half of overtime as we get ready. Things are looking very, very good for them, though, but Insanes, they're definitely not a team we can sell short here. They were able to make the comeback in regulation. But yeah, Pacific Wara, they are going to be leading 2-1 in OT, but Insanes, this is their shot to tie things up and potentially
On their own defense. I mean, they can't do this. It's how they climbed, it's how they racked so many rounds on defense.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to come down to if Steelix can show us the same performance he did in regulation. He was such a big factor in those early round challenges, both on B and towards those wood pushes. And I think if he can have that same sort of presence, he could actually get iNsanes back into this game and potentially even give them the win. And right now, things are looking still neck and neck here, but I definitely have to give credit to Aries and Zarn in that first half of overtime. They almost had the 3-0 sweep had they won that first round, though I still keep thinking about how close that bomb defusal was in round 1 of overtime.
Bomb defusal, holy heck.
The good thing for them is hopefully it won't haunt them if they walk away with the victory, but if they lose, I feel like that round was definitely one that'll haunt you for quite a while. Being that close to a 3-0 half two has got to be a little bit disappointing for them, but iNsanes, they now know this is their chance to get right back into it, and we could see the potential for a golden round drawn in the first time for the event here, and that would be quite a way for one of these teams to end their tournament life. Just thinking about that one round to decide your fate for a $200,000 prize, that's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, definitely. But I think some teams are just thinking, oh, that one map, the best out of ones that came to Hollandaise.
Right now, it is going to be everybody ready and back in the room, guys. And I think we are just about ready to get things underway with the second portion of our overtime here, guys. It's going to be Pacific Wara up 2-1 in overtime, but it's not over yet for anyone here. iNsanes looking to tie it up once again, and we've seen how many times they've been able to bring this one back to a tie. Even when they were down 9-7, they brought it back in regulation, and now here we go, guys. It is going to be Pacific looking for the closer here, but iNsanes, this is a great chance for them to tie it up at the start of this second half in OT. Asuka going to be playing the vent peak here, and now it's going to be all about Pacific trying to hold off these early pushes here. Asuka, though, not going to be challenged, and this is exactly what I said they needed to do here, guys. Do not put Aries in vents and play a little bit more of a different position, but Aries, he's actually going to go for a late push up here into L-turn, and I actually like this execution. Pacific, they're going to throw all their cards towards this B-bomb site. BXM picks up one, and now they're going to try and force their way in and grab this first round. It's just a one-for-one trade, though, on the board. Disturb still holding off to the back of the site. Asuka, though, going to pick up another, and now it is going to be a 3-on-4 situation. Pacific, they're not able to hold on, but King and BXM, they find kills. It's now Asuka and Avedon trying to hold on, but Asuka takes down another. Avedon picks up one, and now it's BXM all alone. Asuka with another one on the board, and that is an incredible way to bring this to a tie once again, Danny.
Asuka just popping off with that sniper, and that's what I want to see from iNsanes. And look at the smiles on one of the players there from iNsanes. And yeah, like you said, tied up here 2-2. Now let's see what Pacific Wara do. Are they gonna go back to their old strategy of just you know, sending a couple players over towards A, just keeping things slow? Maybe decide to push towards the last 45 seconds. Who knows? But they do have 3 players over towards that B long area right now. 2 players up in mid as well. This could be the opportunity for iNsanes to push up once again. That is still very, very early on.
Very early on indeed, and we've seen a lot of rounds run down to the wire, but this time around Pacific, they go for the no fear push, but it's going to be shut down. Icebar picks up a double before going down, but Poi and King, they're there to trade, and now it's a 3v3 Disturb. Asuka and Avedon looking to try and hold on to this one here, but this is a very crucial round. This would put either team who wins on the match point, but there's an engage going on. Aries and Avedon looking to meet up here towards the A staircase, but it looks like it's actually going to be Avedon sneaking past and now playing in the cubby and spawn, but it's going to be a rotation coming off, and this could be a great chance for Pacific to catch Avedon, and Aries is going to spot him and take him down, and now it's going to be Pacific with the advantage here. 3-on-2, Disturb and Asuka looking to try and recover this one, but Pacific, they are exactly where they want to be here to try and close this one out, and they have probably their 3 best performers in this second half here ready to go. Aries going to be working his way around here into vents. He's going to drop out. He's going to catch Asuka off guard, though. Asuka misses the shot, and Aries cleans things up, and now it's a 3v1 here. Disturb, he's going to have to do something insane to make this happen. Pacific Wara, though, looking to take one, but boy, he's going to run right into some trouble here. Oh, no, it's going to be... Never mind, I thought it was Aries there running into trouble, but it is going to be a difficult situation here. If Disturb does not check his corner here, it's going to be King playing in the vents, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be an easy shutdown there for Poi, and just like that, it is going to be Pacific Wara leading this one, Danny, 3-2. It's still close.
One more round here remaining for Team Pacific Wara, I'm pretty sure. And now 3 players headed over towards that B long area. All 3 of them are flash shots coming out from Pacific Wara there, but they're shooting at literally nothing. And now Aries there in the vents. Doesn't look like Asuka is there to get boosted up either. And about to explode over towards this B long area here. BXM will collect one onto Steelix. Iceball collects himself a double kill before going down to King. And that's going to make things now tied up a 3v3 situation here. Got one player over towards KJ, which was Aries. He will go down to Disturb. Bomb should be able to get itself down here, but it looks like they are contesting, trying to tie things up 2 for 2. And all of iNsanes here grouped up in this cage/darkroom area. Bomb still not yet planted, and looks like they're gonna go ahead and execute in. Disturb finds one onto Zara, and here's a 3v1 situation here. All up to King. He finds one onto Disturb. 2v1 situation. Flash is still out, and Asuka will clean things up onto King.
Just like that, and I believe we're going to be going into a golden round here, guys. A insane way for this one to continue forward, and just an overall great performance. iNsanes, right when it seems they're about to slip up and let the map go, they come right back into it, and I definitely have to give the credit there to Asuka just coming up with those big counterplay frags to make it happen for iNsanes. And now, just like that Pacific War, they're going to be put through the ringer if they want to win this one. We're going to be going into yet another overtime situation here, and it looks like it is going to come down to a golden round to decide that too. And what a way for this one to come down to, Danny.
What a way for this one to come down. And wait, actually, we do have players leaving here, so maybe a double overtime?
I think they still do reset for the golden round here, but we'll see how it moves forward, guys. And it looks like we are going to get everyone ready to go once again, and we will be right back into it. And it is going to be a golden round here, guys.
Resetting.
And they're going to get the guys back in.
I think the way the golden round works is from the first half, whichever team was in the first half, whichever team was whichever side. So let's say, for example, Pacific Water started on the blacklist side on the first half, then in the golden round they will start blacklist side. That's how I'm pretty sure it works, because I remember there's a sort of similar rule in Crossfire Europe on ESL EU. So I'm pretty sure that's how it is going to work.
It looks like they're going to stay on the same sides that they ended OT in. So it is going to be a pretty interesting situation, because we've
so I'm actually wrong then. I'm actually wrong, because iNsane started on blacklist side. So yeah, scratch that idea, guys. I'm washed up.
And yeah, so this actually I think could play to iNsane's favor, because we've seen the Global Risk team be a little bit more dominating throughout this matchup. But looking at both of these teams, I just don't know who's going to take it. We've seen so many great plays from both of these teams, and it's really going to come down to who's going to get that crucial start of the round pick here. And I think if Pacific can do that, they can still pull this one off. But I definitely would say in this situation, Global Risk has seemed to have a bit of an advantage.
How harsh is that, though? Best out of one and no golden round. That is,
This is the round that's going to haunt the losing team probably for the remainder of their time here.
What would you do here? Okay, so it looks like they are going to actually stay. iNsanes will be taking Global Risk side. So what do you do here? Are you going to bank it on a push? Are you going to bank it on a push?
In this situation, I think it's actually better to just play how they were comfortably.
Please, Aries. I hope Aries does not go into... I hope Aries does not go into vents at this point. Asuka is just too smart, and he knows.
Right now, starting things off, it is going to be an intense start. They go for the control push. It's going to be iNsanes, though. They pick up 2 kills. It's looking like Pacific might fall. It's going to be Poi very lit as well. And iNsanes, they may have done it here. It's going to be an intense fight. Icebar picks up another. It's going to be a 2-on-5 situation. Poi and BXM, they have to come up with something big. Otherwise, it could be iNsanes coming away with this one. The risk pays off. And right now, Poi and BXM, they are in a very tight spot here. But iNsanes, they know they just have to play passive now. They've turtled up on B, and they are exactly where they want to be. They're going to play all 5 players together. They know they have the win in their grasp. They just have to hold on to it here, guys. And this is going to be it here. Pacific Wara, it's do or die in a 2v5. We've seen it done before, but now more than ever is the time to make it happen here. But with the limited HP they've got, this is going to be difficult. Poi, he's only with 13 HP. BXM, he's going to have to carry this one for the team. And Poi, he's just going to have to hope he can at least get 2 before he goes down. But it's going to be difficult.
A minute and 20 seconds left on the clock here. And A-side is cleaned out. We already have one player who's just cleaned out A-side. So let's see what happens here. Bomb is making his way over towards that A-side. It was actually Poi who cleaned it out. And yeah, as you mentioned, 13 HP left on Poi. But let's see what iNsanes do here. They have a huge numbers advantage. And Bomb now About to go down, a minute left on the clock here, but that shouldn't really matter. Poi gonna get into position here behind these boxes in the corner. Bomb will go down. Insanes, please stay together. Do not give these guys one-on-ones. They are gonna set up a crossfire here though in this A top. And yep, they're gonna go in here. BXM will collect the first kill. Poi, they get forward double. BXM finds another one. Ice Bar finds one as well now. A one-on-one situation here for Ice Bar, and he collects the kill. Insanes, your winners against Pacific Wara.
Oh my goodness, guys, what a way to finish it out. Insane performances from both of these teams, and of course it would come down to a 1v1 to finish it all. Pacific though, that 2v5 almost was real. They had 4 kills, but in the end, Insanes, you gotta hand it to them. They all stepped up, they brought their A game, and in the golden round they take it here, guys. The most intense match we've seen by far throughout the tournament, but what a way for it to end. The golden round, Insanes, they're gonna be moving on Pacific War. They're not even gonna make it out of the group stage here, guys. Incredible way for this one to move forward though for Insanes, and just an overall insane performance here. I think their name suits them at this point here, Danny.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, guys, it is going to be our last match of the group stage here. When we return, it will be the quarterfinals. Danny, that's 4 teams now out of the mix. We're down to just 8 teams in our quarterfinals match. It's going to be a great one on the way, Danny. We've got Vici Gaming taking on AG is going to be our next match. Are you looking forward to that one, man?
Oh, most definitely. AG and Vici, hell yeah.
It is going to be probably, I'd say, the only match that I think could top this one at this point, but a very, very great match on the way, guys. But we definitely have to hand it to Insanes for one of the most incredible matches of Crossfire I've seen in quite some time. These guys showed us what they were made of, and they were able to come out on top right when it mattered
That was
most.
phenomenal.
And now, guys, just a quick look at some highlights, but that'll be it